I'm just being honest with you. I've been there. I had a dinner with a CIA guy, and he sat down and says, "Oh, you think you know everything?" And I said, "No, I don't." He said, "Yeah, you do." And I said, and he laughed. He said, "You don't know anything." And I said, "Really?" I said, "Well, why don't you tell me?" And he said, "I can't, because you might be a CIA agent, and you'll report me." And I said, "Well, that's a good one." He said, "I'll tell you what, Jay, you tell me what you think's going on, and I'll tell you if you're right or not." Well, this is my one shot. This guy was high up. This was my one shot. I'd already lubed him with like 3 scotch and waters. So I just said, I am going to let loose on this guy. And I told him everything. All of Hoagland's work, and I went bases on the moon and bases on Mars and underground tunnel systems. I just went as crazy as I could get. Never flinched. Never blinked. Just sat there for like 2 hours while I went on and on. Finally, I got to the end, and I said, "Well, am I right or am I wrong?" And he said, "Oh, you're right. You just didn't go far enough." So after that, I'm not far enough. So, well, I don't know what to say. So they are planning on getting rid of us. I call it the culling. You know what a culling is? It's like when your chickens on a farm all have a disease. You have to get rid of them all. It's called culling. And I have a chapter in this new book, Secrets and Suppressed, called the culling. And the way they're doing it is like this. They first miseducated us so that we wouldn't know how to grow our own food. And then they went around the world to all the countries that practiced ancient farming practices, and with UN money, they converted them to the so-called Green Revolution, which is where they hooked everybody on fertilizers and oil, and they stopped their ancient practices. So now everybody in the world is now using fertilizers and Monsanto and GMOs and everything to grow their food. Whether you're in Africa, India, China, South America, it doesn't matter. Everywhere in the world now, every single culture has lost the ability to grow food without oil. Guess what? All you have to do is pull the oil out, and everybody starves to death. Netanyahu is going to attack Iran. He says he's going to. We believe him. He's going to. All right? He's going to attack Iran. It's only a matter of time. And when he attacks Iran, you're going to know that's when you better start getting worried. Because they're going to block the Straits of Hormuz, and there is going to be $15 a gallon gas. A loaf of bread is going to be $30. A gallon of milk is going to be $40. It's going to be like Germany before the Nazis, where you had to take a wheelbarrow of Deutschmarks to buy a bottle of milk. You think it didn't happen? It did. I have relatives that were there. So that's what's going to happen. And this is all done on purpose. And I hate to bring this news to you, but, somebody has to say it, and I don't know how to tell anybody. So we're great enlightened beings, but we've got to get through the wormhole here at the end of time. And I just feel that I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I think you're all smart enough to figure out kind of what it is that you have to do. And I'm going to say one last thing, and I'll take some questions and whatever. And this is my appeal to men. I was talking about male initiation before, and I'm really concerned with the condition of the male gender. And this might sound a little politically incorrect, but I think men have to become men again. I think it's like time, It's like time to take care of your families. Like time to do what you're supposed to be doing. And if you don't do that, if you don't right now begin taking emergency measures to take care of your family, you're going to pay a karmic price, because the only thing that you're here to do is protect you and your family. That's the only job a male has outside of procreation. And we have been masculined down, dumbed down. We've been masculine down so that we think that we don't really have to do what we have to do. But if we don't do it, we're the last guard against the end. And we have to take control of our lives. I'm not saying go out and buy a bunch of guns or anything like that. I'm saying that, your first duty, I say it like this. My first duty is to God. My second duty is to myself. My third duty is to my family. And my fourth duty is to my country. And if you don't take that kind of approach, you're abrogating your responsibilities as a man. And women are actually braver than men are. And I believe that what women need to do is kind of create a Joan of Arc movement. Joan of Arc was 14 years old. And she rose up the entire armies of France and defeated the bloody British, the strongest army on earth, and drove them off the country. When all of France, King Charles had said he wasn't going to fight, everybody had given up, and it was a 14-year-old girl who did it, who showed men how to be brave. And that's what women have to do. And this is a time of great bravery and courage. And nature loves courage and removes the barriers to those who are courageous. And one last thing. The news media and everybody, the politicians, they're all trying to scare you by telling you that everything's out of control. Well, I'm here to tell you that you were never in control. You were never in control. So you've got nothing to lose. It's time to actually get control of your lives and move forward and do something about what's about to happen, because it is going to be frightening, dangerous, exhilarating, mind-blowing. The greatest show on earth is about to occur. And you need to get safe. You need to take care of your family and your communities. That's all I got to say. I'll take some questions unless it's time for me to go. I can't remember. What time is it? Anybody know?
About 11:40 or so.
Okay, I got 20 minutes.
Okay, who has questions? Just one right now? Two, three? If you could pass this up to her when she's done.
Okay. I was wondering, what's the quickest technique to activate the pineal gland so we can get information fast or become lighter beings?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would be to listen to Robert Cox on sacredmysteries.com over the next few weeks. You can make the elixir of life with a clay pot and a candle. Anyone can make it. It's our destiny as human beings. And what it does is it activates the pineal gland. By the way, everybody had this. I've gone through the record. There were these, back in Egypt 3,000 years ago, they always talked about these cakes made of white bread that they would eat. And there was no doctors. If you felt a cold coming on, you'd eat a little bit of this white cake, stick it under your tongue, and you'd be cured, right? And doctors didn't even appear until about 2,000 years ago. There weren't even any doctors, okay? But Egypt was being invaded by the Hyksos, and all these invasions were coming in. And the Egyptian priests, who before the invasions were ubiquitously handing out the great secret. That's why in the Bible it says that Moses lived to be 800 years old and all these elongated ages. It's true. They did. And they didn't do it for selfish reasons. They did it because they didn't want the bad guys to get it. They kept the secret confined within the priesthood. And that's why when we lost it, some time ago, 2,500, 3,000 years ago, we lost the secret. But everybody knew it. I'm telling you, they knew it in India. They knew it in Africa. They knew it in China. They knew it here in the United States. They all knew the secret. They all knew it. They all could make this. You can make it with a candle, a clay pot. Anyone can do it. Next. Huh? Could you speak up? Okay. You're making an elixir. You're taking metals and you're finding the seeds, because metals hold the celestial fire for a long, long time. Okay? For millions and billions of years, they hold it in them. And when you pull the seed out from the metal, this white powder, this monoatomic gold, type in monoatomic Hudson alchemy on Google. By the way, read the book The Long Emergency by James Howard Kunstler, too, by the way, just so you save your lives. But, yeah, and everybody knew this. This was our destiny as a race, to have this. And this is what the communion in the Catholic religion, this is like a lost memory of the white tablet, the white powder that you took that gave you the body of God inside you. It's just a memory of it. But it's real. I mean, people take it. The problem is that you have to make your own. You can't buy it over the counter. In other words, and I'm going to let him explain it through the course, there is a peculiar thing, a homeopathic thing that occurs when you make it yourself. And maybe that's why you have to put a little drop of your own blood in it or something, because it creates this kind of feedback mechanism between you and it, and it knows how to read you. Get it? And the thing is you make it out of gold. But you could take a gold coin, and you can extract this white powder out of it, and the gold coin is exactly like it was. You can extract enough white powder from one gold coin to fill this thing up to the top. But the gold coin is exactly the gold coin when you're all done. Weighs the same, looks the same. When Carter found the tomb of Akhenaten, was it Akhenaten? Yeah. He found I can't remember the tomb he found. Yeah, I think it was Akhenaten. He found the tomb. If you read Carter's diaries, he's like, oh, these damn Egyptians. We broke open the tomb, and there's some crazy white powder filled the whole tomb. I had to hire 5 Arabs with shovels to get it out of there. I'm like, oh, no. He's like shoveling it, the white powder, out into the desert wind, you know. Here's another thing that's interesting about the white powder. Probably I should have gotten into this. Every 26,000 years, according to the ice core drillings in Greenland done by Paul LaViolette, there is a layer of iridium and rhodium. That's the residual of this white powder, all over the earth. It seems to enter into the system, okay? And it's coming in right now. The sun has lost its heliosphere. The sun has an electromagnetic field, and about last May, it started shrinking. And as the electromagnetic field of the sun shrinks, the interstellar dust, the dust that's cooked in the fires of the center of the galaxy, start entering into the system because it's not being repelled by the sun's heliosphere, okay? That's coming in right now. It's coming in right now. So whether you make the white powder or not, the universe provides its own white powder to you every 26,000 years. And guess what? We're due. We're 25,900 years late.